All right, so we're recording. I'm here with Hanna. Good to see you again, Hanna.
Me
She's
too,
a
me too.
she's a Ukrainian girl, born and raised in Ukraine, but living right now in Poland. And she has a really interesting story about entrepreneurship in crypto and finance. I believe you work in accounting, right? So
Yes, still.
I'm sure it's going to be an interesting story. So how are you, Hanna, first of all?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's a grey winter in Poland, so can be
Where,
better,
yeah,
like you in Bangkok.
where are you located right now?
Still in Łódź.
Woods. All right. So let's start if you want. I wanted to start with life in Ukraine since you were born and raised there. How does it feel like growing up in Ukraine? How did it shape your life and your culture?
Oh, to born and raised in Ukraine, it's not an easy topic, actually,
Yeah.
because, yeah, Ukrainians are definitely, in my opinion, people are warriors, and it's not about the war now, but in
Mhm.
general, it's like you're constantly struggling with everything. So, yeah, I can say so that it's like constantly the way you are going and you
Mhm.
are fighting. It's not like an easy way to live, we can
Yeah, it's
say.
a tough life, but I guess it shapes you and makes you stronger, so it's a good side. But then you move to
What
Poland.
doesn't kill you make you stronger, yeah, but in general, what doesn't kill you, yes. Not
Exactly.
everyone become stronger. That's true. But actually, my relationship with Poland has changed, and
Okay.
I guess you don't know that I received a
Interesting.
citizenship finally 1 week
Congrats.
ago.
Wow, 1 week
Yes,
ago. That's amazing.
yeah.
Let's
So
start from, yeah,
after 10 years, I receive it.
that's amazing. Let's start from the beginning. What made you move to Poland from Ukraine?
It's like it's the story even from my childhood
Hmm.
because when I was a kid, at school, of course, you have a lot of lessons, etc. And I guess this idea came to my mind when I was at the geographical lessons,
Hmm.
and we were discussing GDP per capita, per country, etc. And it was like Ukraine was below at the list, like everywhere. And
Yeah.
we were discussing that it's kind of one of the biggest country in Europe, that the country that has a lot of resources, that has coal, forests, smart people, like cheap workforce, good grounds, yes,
Hmm.
etc. But constantly, at the end of the list and everything. And it came to my mind when I was even a kid that, I don't want to live in this country. It's
Yeah.
like, why? Why I need to live in the country where, like, which has indexes very low?
Hmm.
And it was like, I was a kid, yes, I was just going to school, and it was my first idea. But then when I enter into more adult life, like I went to the university or I was struggling to receive a first job, I just understand that Ukraine, for me, is association of kind of unfairness, because when you're going to the university, like every lecture waits a bribe from you,
Hmm.
to pass the exams. If you would like to receive driving license, you need to buy it. So if some people can even just buy a degree. They can go to the university and even don't attend any lessons and just buy a degree. So
Uh-huh.
you can imagine what is the situation on the road when everyone bought drive license. What is the situation can be at the hospital when you don't know who bought a diploma. And it's like constantly fighting because everyone waits bribe from you. And to receive a good job, it's the same. You just cannot come with your degree, with your skills, and receive a good job just because you need to have some connections. And this culture of corruption and bribery overwhelmed me totally.
Hmm.
And I decided that after the university, if I have a chance to move somewhere to Europe, I will take it. And it wasn't my plan to move to Poland. It's like, oh, I'm dreaming to relocate to Poland. No, it was just an occasion, because my university had such kind of a dual degree program between my university in Ukraine and university in Łódź here.
Okay.
And I decided, maybe this is a chance to go to try to study a bit, because it was only for half a year, to understand how the life looks like here, and to relocate, because it was always my dream to relocate. And I did it. Then I came back to my master's, did my master's degree, and and already I'm living here 10 years. So yeah, that's my story. It's like I didn't choose Poland. It was just the occasion which I
Hmm.
took, but it was always in my hand to relocate.
Okay. So yeah, that's great. Poland chose you in a way, I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it's
So.
also, a good lesson learned that you don't need to have strict direction what you would like to do, but at least an idea, and
Mhm.
the direction are coming to you,
Yeah. So this story you told me about corruption, I heard before, and I guess that's fair that you wanted to relocate. But what do you think about the main differences? Did you see this in Poland? How are the main differences between these two countries? Because many people
No,
who haven't been think that they are very similar, but they're not indeed. They're not that
no,
similar.
no. No, it's not here like that.
Hmm.
It's like here, if you really don't know how to drive, you're not able to do it, you don't know this theory, you will never pass. Never.
Yeah.
I know people who are going to pass drive license 5, 6, 10 times. At the university, the same. Completely completely transparent atmosphere. If
Uh-huh.
you know the topic, you're going, you're passing, fine. If you don't know, there will be second chance to retake it, third, fourth. Then you of course need to pay, but you are paying officially to the university. And I was studying at the public university, so you are like paying to the government. Yes, you are not paying to the pocket of the lecturer,
Hmm.
which the person who in Ukraine, it was even like I felt like the person even would like to give you like low marks to receive this bribe to
Yeah.
improve it. Here, it's not like that. Maybe it was the situation here like that in the 90s.
Hmm.
I heard from Poles that maybe at the 90s, that there is kind of situation like police can stop you, have a bribe. Now, never. There are everywhere like cameras and everything is
Hmm.
recording. So, yeah, really transparent. And with receiving a job, the same.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I've changed a lot of jobs here and it was never a problem to receive a position which you like.
Yeah, so I guess it's more strict in that way, and they respect more the rules and the law. But was this transition easy, would you say? Coming from another Slavic country in a way, or Slavic culture, would you say it's easier for you to adapt rather than other person coming from elsewhere?
Yes, it is, because the language is very similar.
Hmm.
Of course, it's like sometimes Ukrainians says that you don't need to learn Polish, it's too similar. But no, you can understand some words. It is the same language group, but you need to learn Polish if you would like
Hmm.
to speak.
Of course.
And yeah, for me, adoption, this kind of adaptation, it was very easy, because I guess my path started from the best way, I mean, from the university. It's like you are young, you are living in a dormitory, you
Hmm.
constantly have parties, this kind of integration stuff. You are integrating a lot with the community, with other young people, you try to travel even. So yeah, so my path was very easy. I know that the most of the people are coming just for work.
Hmm.
It can be more tough, because when you come for work, you are meeting people which that already has families,
Hmm.
and it's hard to build this kind of the connection than when you was young.
Yeah.
But still, for of course, for Ukrainians, for other Slavic nations, it's easy to adaptate here.
Yeah, I thought so. And it's one of my favorite countries of Europe, as you know. But we've seen a huge diaspora of Ukrainians moving to Poland in the recent years for obvious reasons. Um, do you think, as you were there from before, and that's not the reason why you moved there, do you think there's any difference in this? Do you think that Poles' opinion on Ukrainians have changed after so many, I believe it's 3 millions of Ukrainians moving to Poland recently?
I guess so.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's changed in that bad direction.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, it's only because of the funds that were given to the Ukrainians, because now it's stopped. And I guess they were just worried that Ukrainians will take their jobs and that the funds are going from actually their taxes, which is not really true
Hmm.
because it's like funds from the European Union. And if Ukrainians are taking their jobs, the jobs are very simple. It's
Yeah.
like most probably Poles don't want to do it, just don't want to do it. That's why Ukrainians taking them. But I wouldn't say that it's like a stereotype. I guess it's like the main opinion, but I know that not everyone thinks so. It's like if you are thinking, you don't think in this way.
Hmm. Okay. And speaking about jobs, on a personal level, you decided that you wanted something else from life and you took a more entrepreneurship kind of road in life, and you started a company which is, correct me if I'm wrong, Criptioni,
Right.
which is managing taxes in crypto. What inspired you to fund to create a company like this?
It's like I would say that I am kind of a dynamic person, and
Hmm.
job in the corporation is very stable. It's like you're doing the same stuff and you can be replaceable. And I always wanted to have something like on my own
Hmm.
and to be the owner, is to create something. And because if you're creating something, you feel different, like you feel differently than you are just following the process.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing the same. And it was in my head that I would like to do it. And it
Hmm.
was kind of opportunity which was open for me because with my ex co-founders of the Criptioni, it was like an offer if I would like to join to
Hmm.
be a co-founder as well and to start the company, to leave the corporate job and to try to be on our own. So I decided, yes, why not? I am a yes woman, like
That's
go on.
incredible. Yeah. Congrats on that. So you co-founded this crypto tax company. How much capital did you raise?
So we raised a half of million
Half
euros.
a million
At,
euros. All right.
yes,
Damn.
yes. At that time, it was 2.5 million zlotys,
Uh-huh.
and it was a pre-seed round.
Mm-hmm.
So we started without money. It was
Okay.
obviously that it's like the time when you just have an idea, they pass. It's like it doesn't work now like this. I have an incredible idea. I have a presentation. Please give me money. No, you need to have already product. You need to show the traction. You
Mm-hmm.
need to show the potential. And only then you can start raising money to try to scale your product
Mm-hmm.
in different ways. So yeah, first time we were working just for free, building the company,
Mm-hmm.
and then starting to pitch and to raise it. And it's like it's the journey which can burn you out, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
because yeah, it's hard.
I can imagine. Yeah. Well, how does it feel to raise 500,000 euros?
Oh, it was like excitement,
Yeah.
but also stress because now you become responsible for this
Hmm.
money, and in some way you took the responsibility to multiply it. Yes, not just to use it,
Hmm.
but also to multiply it. And that's why it's kind of a responsibility, which is not for everyone. I will be honest,
Yeah.
and you are taking other people on board to your own company. Yes, you are not alone anymore. It's not your company, only your company
Hmm.
anymore. You are just you started. It's like the another journey has started. Yes, you need to find right people to build your product, to try to scale it. You need constantly do reports for your VC capitals, yes, for your investors to show where you're spending money, what is the outcome from it. So the journey is challenging, I would say.
I can imagine. Was that the biggest challenge, or did you face anything that was more complicated? What would you say was the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing to deal with?
I guess the hardest thing in this case and in general
Hmm.
that you took money, you just try to scale to develop the product, and it is like in this phase of developing, but your investors are awaiting the income,
Hmm.
and it is hard to balance because you cannot generate income when you are just growing the product, when you are
Hmm.
just burning money on monthly salaries for IT people, and let's be honest, they are not very low.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so I guess handling the responsibilities of hiring staff and um, scaling the company, as you mentioned, must be the hardest. Were you in charge of hiring people and handling their responsibilities and somehow managing the team?
Yes, it's like I wasn't directly in charge on papers
Okay,
because
okay.
my role was CMO, so I was Chief Marketing Officer, but it was my company. And if it is your company, you're doing everything.
Hmm.
You see the weak point in hiring people, you know that they should be hired quicker. You try to help. So yes, I was dealing in hiring people. I was looking them on a LinkedIn, and I would say that it is also challenging because it's like when you have a startup, you're pitching your idea to the investors, but then when you're hiring people, you are pitching this idea to people
Hmm.
to take them from their comfortable jobs
Yeah.
and to say, hey, we are doing great stuff, join us.
Hmm.
So it is also, it's like it's not also easy stuff because they were working for big corporations with a lot of benefits, etc. And you are saying that we are building a startup, nobody knows about us, but join us, will be cool, will
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's also part that is interesting.
Of course. But I guess it helps in the delegating kind of things. So you delegate responsibilities, and with that comes another responsibility. So, how did you feel about um, training people and explaining the product, and in the end, delegating all these responsibilities so that more people join and the company grows bigger?
Our main team, which was working full time, they
Hmm.
were mainly developers. So I was not responsible for them because
Okay.
we had a chief technical officer
Hmm.
who was managing them. So I was only responsible for, not really responsible, but I was helping with this hiring. And also then I was doing a bit of accounting, like paying salaries, etc. But this kind of motivation and managing them, it wasn't my responsibilities.
Hmm.
I was managing people who relates to marketing. but they were not full time. They were part time, and it was like I have a task, I can delegate, and then to see if it's okay. But it was not. It wasn't on a daily basis. Yes, it was like projects.
Yeah.
If I have something to delegate, like to build a website, to do graphics, to do a video, so I was delegating this part, and I would say that is the way of hiring people nowadays. It's a good thing. I mean that there is exists such kind of an Upwork, or the people who are just on a freelance. Yes, I
Hmm.
guess you know the topic.
I know, I know, I know.
That you can, if you have a project, you delegate it and the
Uh-huh.
project is done. But then you don't need this person on the board to pay them monthly salary. Yes, so for owners, for employers, it's a good stuff. It's a good
Hmm.
stuff because you cannot afford, yes, to have this person constantly. It's a good stuff, and I can recommend this kind of way of doing it.
Yeah, totally. Plus, in startups, it can happen that you don't need a constant development, but you need punctual, specific stuff
Yeah,
for
maintenance. Yeah.
exactly for some specific time, and that doesn't or doesn't need a person on board, as you say, hard full time. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And speaking more about the product, what does exactly do? What does Criptioni do?
Did, because it's not
Did.
working anymore.
Yeah, we can talk about that later too.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
because everyone is talking about a success story, and we need to talk about everything honestly,
sure.
just to learn on other people's mistakes,
So
and
let me
maybe not
rephrase.
mistakes, but experience.
Totally. What did Criptioni do?
So it is a crypto. It was okay.
Hmm.
Let's say it is. It is a crypto
Yeah.
tax calculator,
Uh-huh.
and it calculated taxes from your cryptocurrencies, from your income from cryptocurrencies, because crypto is legal. Yes, it's a financial instrument,
Hmm.
and you need to pay taxes
Hmm.
from it. But to calculate taxes from your crypto, it's not that easy, because I guess, like many people, you are also like moving from other exchange from
Yeah.
one to another, to doing a lot of transactions. And that's why this kind of a soft is very useful and comfortable to do. You just creating an account to connect your exchanges to it, and then it generates a tax report which you can use or you cannot use. It wasn't our responsibility what you will do with it. We
Hmm.
were just provided the info, how much taxes you need to pay, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Sure.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Did you end up having users? Any final users? Any customers?
No, of course, a lot. It was like it was thriving actually in Poland, and
Mm-hmm.
we even received a reward of a startup of the year. So it
Okay.
was working, yeah, it was working perfectly. Actually, after first year of work, when we were working without VC,
Mm-hmm.
we got attraction, we got customers, also feedbacks from them, and only after it we went to the VC, yeah, for venture
Okay.
capital, to show that we already have product, the product is working, we have customers, we have good reviews, and I even tried to do some marketing stuff, like with a low budget, to be on this crypto news, etc., to
Mm-hmm.
show that we already exist and we just need money to scale it.
Okay. Do you have any numbers, any ROI or anything that?
My goodness, unfortunately, no.
All right. Okay, 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 no problem. Um, so you told me that it existed, but it doesn't anymore. So I think there's an end of a story here. What happened?
What happened? Actually, it's like in every company and every startup, uh, what is the most important is product market fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when you're creating a product, it should be useful for people. You need to solve problems of customers, and
Mm-hmm.
then your product will be on top.
Mm-hmm.
And here it was fine with it, like 100%. It was very satisfying to receive this kind of a feedback that thanks to your product I saved so many time, etc. But what was a disadvantage and what was the weak point, which you cannot predict, it's a timing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't only need to have product market fit, but also kind of a luck with the timing of starting your product. Because when we received this venture capital and started to scale and hiring people, apart from it, the war in Ukraine has started, and you
Okay.
know what crash was on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And then FTX went bankruptcy,
Mm-hmm.
and all this, kind of a bad PR around crypto fall,
Mm-hmm.
and and also Silicon Valley Bank fall.
Mm-hmm.
And a fun fact that we had our venture capital, their headquarter was in the New York.
Okay.
They had just kind of this branch in Warsaw with Polish guys. But in general, when they had this kind of quarterly meetings, they were going to the New York to other investors to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Because mainly venture capital are the people who are managing other people money. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they are also responsible for money, and they also kind of pitching their projects. And when the Silicon Valley Bank went bankruptcy, I know that they had this kind of a meeting in the New York, and after it, they started to chase all the startups to show the revenue. It was like, we just received money a few months ago, and they were just, challenging us. But yeah, please show us what is the cost per click on the on your ads,
Yeah.
how many customers you got yesterday, and they were started to push us, to show the results. It was kind of impossible, to manage, because we just started to build the product. It wasn't really fair from their side, but I understand that there are a lot of circumstances. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
here is the war, here is a lot of bankruptcies. They invested a lot of money, but we are not showing revenue because it's kind of impossible to show at this moment.
Yeah.
And what the fun fact, we also entered a UK market, but in the UK, it's like they had their own crypto tax calculator, and we tried to compete with them, but it was already, many years on the market, proved,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So it was impossible to beat it. And that's why after this kind of stuff on the market, there started to be kind of misunderstandings between us and venture capital guys. Of course, we had major of the shares in the company, but it was impossible to manage.
Yeah.
Impossible to manage this kind of relationship with them.
So I guess the main reasons were the crypto bear market and the war, obviously.
Exactly. Yes, this kind of a crisis on the market. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
You were speaking about competition in the UK, and I guess if you found this product market fit, even if the timing was not the best, um, there should be a player there filling this void in the market. Is there anyone replacing Criptioni now, or was the competition too high for you to access the market? Who do you think is in place right now instead of Criptioni?
Do you mean in Poland or in the UK?
In general.
In general, there are this kind of
Hmm.
crypto tax calculator, and even in the USA, there is a big player, which is even a unicorn nowadays. So
Wow.
they raised,
Yeah.
which kind of amount. So
Yeah.
they're unicorns, and of course, they were kind of trendsetters for us, yes? So
Hmm.
if they're unicorns, maybe we can create something in our part of Europe, something like
Hmm.
that. But to be a startup in the USA and to be a startup in Poland, it's like
It's
different
not the same.
worlds.
Yeah.
It's not the same completely,
Yeah. Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, we did our best, to to be on the market, to provide good service, but sometimes you just cannot overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I get you, but it's a really interesting story, honestly. And then you decided to wrap up and close. So how does this process work? Because we all see all these cases of success when the owners get millions and they become super successful. But on the other side, there are companies that go bankrupt or just wrap up and say, this is over, and we don't get to hear this side of things very often. So how does this
Exactly. It's like in the business, yeah. We know
exactly?
only leaders, yeah,
Hmm.
but
And
they are just a tiny percentage of the
totally,
rest.
totally, but they make the biggest noise. So how does this work
Yeah.
in this case? How do you say, this is not gonna work? We stopped raising capital, and we don't get to pay salaries anymore, and we need to close and wrap up. How does this work?
I mean, it was a very sad situation,
Hmm.
and it was a big pity because I treated this project like my kid.
Hmm.
You're raising something, building something, then hiring people,
Totally.
but sometimes, you need to resign. You need to say stop loss. Yes, it's loss, but let's say stop. Yeah, just to
Yeah,
set up it like on the exchange.
exactly.
Yeah, if something doesn't work, it's better to do the stop loss and
Hmm.
to start your life again. So yeah, so it was the moment when actually with the IT guys we had a contract. So we just said that we are not prolonging it anymore,
Hmm.
and just to wrap up and started to looking for a corporate job again.
Hmm. I guess it's hard, and as you say, it can be sad. I understand that, especially when you put so much effort and energy in a project. But how was it to come back to real world, so to say, okay, this didn't work. I'm gonna find another job in house as I had before, and also I guess that you still have this thing on your mind where you want to create your own thing, your own project, because that's what led you to create this project, this Criptioni. So, how do you cope with this come back to real world? And do you plan to start something up again?
Um, I will surprise you, but
Okay.
I felt a relief when I came back to a
Mhm.
corporate because it's like you're not managing people, you're not responsible for someone's money. You just do your 9 to 5,
Yeah.
close your laptop, and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. When you have your own company, you're constantly thinking about it, how to scale it, what to do, to which conference to go,
Hmm.
maybe rebranding, maybe something. It's like
Yeah.
you're constantly living. That's why it's very hard to separate your private life from your company, from
Yeah.
the entrepreneurship journey, because you are your company, you are your own brand. Yes, sometimes even VC, venture capital, are not investing in the idea but into founders. There are a lot of examples of guys who went bankrupt, but they were so strong founders that they receive investment one more time. No,
Yeah.
it's like that's why if you are doing business, you are the personal brand.
Hmm.
But when you're going to the corporate job, you are one of others, and
Totally.
it's you can just totally relax. And for me, this year, when I'm just doing the corporate job, I treat it like a vacation, honestly. Yes,
That's fantastic, but I still guess that you learned many lessons, and even if it didn't succeed, it's still a super nice experience to have. So,
yes.
congrats on that,
And
even if it
sometimes,
didn't work
yeah,
out.
thanks. And sometimes you need to try 10 times
Hmm.
to succeed, because it's not like you're starting the company it is
Yeah.
one night success. No, it doesn't work like this. You need to have an experience, try again, and one day this will be product market fit, perfect
Mhm.
timing, luck will smile to you, and
Totally. And I guess it requires a lot of iteration. I don't think that the first product you come up with just fits right straight into the market. So iteration takes place and finding the right people, as you said. So yeah, I can imagine, but it's still a very interesting story. And since you have an inside kind of view from the crypto world, from the tax world, I just wanted to ask you from like just out of interest, how does taxation work exactly with crypto? If you have to summarize it, I guess it's a very long topic, of course, and it depends on the country and on the legislation of each
exactly.
region.
It
But
depends on the
mhm,
it depends on the country and the legislation, and this is actually the main disadvantage for scaling this kind of a company,
mhm,
because very important when you have a capital from someone, if it is venture capital, from angel investment, or even from your friends and families,
mhm,
it's very important to scale your company, to double your profits.
yeah,
But if it is a struggle with scaling, that can be a disadvantage. And here is a struggle, because if you would like to scale to another country, you need to get in contact with lawyers which are into the topic, which can, can kind of do this kind of a roadmap,
mhm,
how the taxes are calculated. Then you need to introduce it to your developers team, which will be working exactly on this country.
mhm.
So yeah, it is super complicated, and the lawyers which are into cryptocurrencies, they are rare people
Yeah,
on the
and
market.
not cheap. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and not cheap at all. That's why it is this kind of a disadvantage. It is manageable, but still,
yeah.
it's not like only translation of your web page, yeah? Because sometimes you can just translate your web
Mhm.
page, your product, e-product, all is done.
Yeah,
But
totally.
here it is a huge project.
I guess it's like building a whole new product again for another
E-
area, region of the world.
Exactly, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
But since you have an interview, as I was saying, how would you quickly describe how taxation works in crypto in Europe?
In Europe. So I know many like in Poland. Like in
Okay.
Poland, it's completely the same like in a stock exchange. Yes, you
Okay.
are paying, yes, you are paying this 19% of your income, and that's all. But the main problem, yes, just to gather all this information from all exchanges
Yeah.
at one place.
19% flat tax, no matter how much you take in profit.
No, from your profit.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter the
Hmm.
amount. Okay,
No,
that's
it doesn't matter. Hmm.
That's great. That's great. And do you know if you should recommend to someone, do you know any best areas or countries where taxation in crypto is more favorable and people that are hugely invested in crypto can get benefits?
Yeah, for sure. Like, if we're talking about this kind of taxation haven, it's, Dubai
Yeah,
and Emirates. Yes, that's why
of
there are
course.
so many crypto projects there. Also, it is a Portugal, but after some years,
Hmm.
yes, there are a lot of crypto millionaires which should, stay a few years in Portugal, and then it's tax
Yeah.
free. So yeah, there are tax havens, but
Hmm.
it's like only if you have really huge amount of it.
Yeah, 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 of course.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And as a personal level, are you an investor? Are you into the market? Or after this experience, you just wanted to get rid of everything related to crypto and you just said goodbye. I don't need to know anything about that anymore.
Yeah, I'm a hodler. Like, I'm not
Nice.
like, yeah, I'm not playing. I'm just, I have my tiny amount invested.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
same here.
the cryptocurrency silver, we would say. And yeah, I'm just waiting for the good moment.
Yeah, that's amazing. How do you see the market? Are you a follower or are you just a casual investor and you don't really care that much?
You know, I was a follower when I had my startup. It was every day, you know, I
Hmm.
was like on a daily basis with the news.
Yeah.
Now I stop it. Um, I just, you know, if the Bitcoin has its all-time high, everyone knows it. You
Yeah.
you just need to be super in touch with news because even on the radio you can hear
Hmm.
about it. So it's like it's really it's huge. That's why you don't need to be on a daily basis with the news.
Hmm. And speaking more about crypto, how do you see crypto in terms of society? Do you think that it's fully established and people are starting to use it and get more familiar with it? Do you think that it's gonna stabilize in the future and we still have some future and some potential to overcome? How do you see crypto in general? Because I don't think it's a topic that society cares a lot about. There's this 5-10% of people who we are fully into that, or we invest and we really know the potential it has, but most of society are oblivious to this.
I totally agree with your opinion.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, only 5-10% of people even know what it is.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I even face the situation that the person people have never heard about it. It's
Yeah.
like the word Bitcoin was new and the person was in my age. It wasn't like a grandma. And I
Yeah.
was so surprised, like, oh Jesus, it's like, seriously? But okay, I don't want to judge anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge. And I guess it's everything because the technology is not very straightforward. I mean, the using of it, yes,
Hmm.
that you need to you know, to set up an account in this exchange, etc. That's why the products that make life easier, less complicated, um, will be, you know, will be on top on this market.
Hmm.
I knew such kind of a startups which, you know, make your investment easier. Of course, they're taking a lot of a provision from your investment, but at least you don't need to think a lot how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I only see benefits, but I get the barrier of entry is really high. You need to learn about all these exchanges, you need to transfer money to them. Most of us have heard of scam stories
Scams,
or
exactly.
sketchy things related to crypto, which exist in any other financial instrument. And the barrier of
But in
entry,
crypto especially.
exactly,
In
because
crypto especially.
it's more anonymous and so on, so it leads to this. But after you understand a little bit how it works and you learn about exchanges and orders and you know when to take profit and stop loss orders and you really understand how it works, you really see a huge potential because you can really see that it will one day overtake gold, which is the major player in the market right now, because it's got some properties that gold will never have. It's digital, so Bitcoin will it's transportable. You can take it anywhere with you in a hot wallet, in a cold wallet. You can flee from war with your Bitcoin. You cannot take your gold or your dollars with you. And the supply is limited. So this will only increase the price eventually when more and more people know about it. There's 21 million Bitcoin. So there's not even one single more, one single less Bitcoin, only this 21 million. And this is not connected to any bank, any political party, any government. So it's safe, secure, and independent. And I think those three properties are the key that we all want from a financial instrument. So I see a lot of potential in that. I don't know if you see it that way.
Yeah, I also see it that way. And that's why actually it is comparing with gold, because you
Hmm.
cannot print it. Yes, it's like
Exactly.
limited edition.
Hmm.
You cannot print it. Government also cannot put their hands on it. And the theory that I heard, the Bitcoin was created like a response to a crisis on 2008 in the
Hmm.
USA. Yes, that it was a crisis on the bank system, and that's why Bitcoin was created, and spread it to the world at this time.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like nobody knows really what's behind or who is behind that, but that explanation makes sense. And just to wrap up, Hannah, you are an entrepreneur and you've had your journey, your experience, which was great to hear. Um, but I wanted to ask you, what lessons did you learn? What lessons did you take from this experience? Because I guess that even if it didn't succeed, you learned a lot from it.
Oh, definitely, I learned a lot,
Hmm.
and I guess what I can recommend in general to people, that it's like it's it's always a benefit to try,
Yeah.
just try yourself, try a new idea, especially if you don't have kids, for example, still don't have this kind of set up family. You can take a risk and to try, because if you don't try, you will never know if it's something for you. Then you can have this kind of lesson learned. Okay, it was for me, or it wasn't. I want to continue, or I would like to do something else.
Yeah.
Because it's like very a few people had this chance in life to see like the business was growing in their families. Yes,
Hmm.
most of us need to try it on our skin. That's why,
Completely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
My
I think
lesson, it's like to try different things, to try if it's for you.
totally agree. Yeah, we should take more risks because eventually, one way or another, it winds up paying off. It might not succeed, but it pays off in other ways. You learn a lot, you get
Exactly.
experience. So yeah, that's
Exactly, or
amazing.
even you can, you can have this opportunity for community, for
Hmm.
connection, for
Exactly.
networking,
Hmm.
which can help you in other direction.
Exactly. Plus, you build a base, a core where you get this boost in the next time you try something. It might not have succeeded, but you have all this experience, all this core, all these connections, entrepreneurship ideas or experience that can boost your next project, your next try. Hmm.
Exactly.
Totally. And last thing, something I like to ask is, what would you like to do in the coming future? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see Hannah being in 5 years' time? What would you like to
My
achieve,
goodness,
or
five
where?
years,
Yeah,
5 years. The
because
life is so dynamic. You don't
I
know what
know, I
will
know,
be,
I know.
in 1 month.
That's true. That's
No,
true,
and
and that's
actually,
good.
what pandemic taught me,
Hmm.
that I don't have long-term plans anymore in my life.
Yeah.
I'm very dynamic,
Hmm.
and it's like I have something in my mind, some ideas, and I'm just, if there is an opportunity, I will take it.
That's amazing.
Long-term plans, will be for pandemic, will in another life.
Yeah, totally. And in terms of relocating, geography, do you see yourself living in Poland long time? Do you see yourself moving? What is your plan if you have any?
Yeah, definitely. So I finally received my citizenship, and I'm a free
True.
person. I'm a
Amazing.
citizen, yeah, citizen of European Union. So I
That's
have
amazing.
wings. I can
Yeah,
fly wherever I want.
that's
Yeah,
great.
and now I just need to think where. And I guess yes, it will be a relocation,
Hmm.
but everything depends. Yes,
Okay.
how it went with searching for a new job and new opportunities.
That's fantastic. So I wish you a lot of luck, Hannah, and it was great to hear your story. And I hope when you get all these new experiences, when you relocate, when you start a new project, we talk again. We record another episode
In
because
Thailand.
you can. You can in
in
Thailand for
person.
sure. That would be amazing. I'm planning to. I have in mind starting somehow an in-person podcast, but it requires a lot of logistics, so it's not that easy. But that would be great. And damn, if I get to the point where I fly in my guests, that will be the time when I really make it. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I wish you, your own studio with
I
podcast.
wish. I wish one day maybe. All right, perfect, Hannah. So I will say goodbye to you. Thank you for coming. It was great hearing your story, and yeah, I wish you are successful and you come in later podcast to tell your new story.
Sure, thanks. It was
Thank
nice to
you.
hear you as well.
Bye bye. Thanks, Hannah.
Bye.